My girlfriend said, "Your apartment is embarrassing. I'm not bringing friends over." I said, "Fair enough." Then I stopped paying for her Uber rides and dinner dates. When she realized she'd have to start using public transit. Original post: I, 27 male, have been dating Mia, 25, for about 8 months. Things started great. We met through a dating app, hit it off immediately, and she seemed genuinely into me. I work in IT support, make decent money but nothing crazy, around $65K a year. I live in a 1-bedroom apartment that's fine. It's clean, functional, close to work, not fancy, but it's mine and I can afford it comfortably. Mia works part-time at a boutique clothing store, makes maybe $20,000 a year. She lives with 3 roommates in a place that's honestly not much nicer than mine, just bigger because, 4 people split the rent. From day one, I've been covering most of our dates, dinners, movies, concerts, whatever. Also been paying for her Ubers to and from my place because she complained about parking being hard to find in my neighborhood. Usually runs me about $30 to $40 each time she visits, plus another $40 to $60 when we go out somewhere. Last month, she started making comments, little digs about my apartment. "Don't you think it's time to upgrade? This neighborhood is so basic. The building looks sketchy from outside." Then 2 weeks ago, we were supposed to have a double date with her friend Jenna and Jenna's boyfriend. Day of, Mia texts me, "Can we do dinner somewhere else instead of your place? Your apartment is kind of embarrassing. I don't want to bring my friends there." I stared at that text for like 10 minutes. Embarrassing. My perfectly adequate apartment that I pay for myself while bankrolling her transportation and entertainment. Me, fair enough. Let's just meet at the restaurant then. Perfect. Can you send me Uber money? It's surge pricing. Actually, I think you should start handling your own transportation from now on. See you at 7. Radio silence for 20 minutes. Then, what? Are you serious right now? Very. If my place embarrasses you, we should probably reevaluate our financial arrangements too. I'll just take the bus then. This is ridiculous. Sounds good. Restaurant is downtown, bus stop is 2 blocks from your place. She showed up 45 minutes late, hair slightly frizzed from the rain. Yeah, it started drizzling, and she didn't have an umbrella because she never needed one in an Uber. Her friend Jenna kept shooting me confused looks all night, while Mia was visibly seething, but trying to keep it together in front of them. When the check came, I paid for mine, and Jenna's boyfriend paid for him and Jenna. Mia just sat there staring at her portion of the bill like it was written in hieroglyphics. I didn't bring my card," she whispered. "There's an ATM across the street," I said, taking a sip of water. Jenna ended up covering her, and the look Mia gave me could have melted steel. That was 2 weeks ago. Since then, I've stuck to my guns. No more Uber money. We split every bill. She's been taking the bus to dates and showing up late to most of them. She tried the whole "I forgot my wallet" thing twice more. Both times I just shrugged and said we could wait while she went to get it or hit an ATM. The texts have been something, ranging from "you're being petty" to "this is financial abuse" to "I was just being honest about your apartment." Yesterday she said we need to talk. Meeting her tomorrow. Pretty sure I know where this is going, but honestly, I'm oddly at peace with it. If my adequate apartment and expecting her to pay her own way makes me undateable, then maybe I've been dating the wrong person. We'll update after tomorrow's talk. Update 1. Holy hell, yesterday's talk went exactly nowhere near where I expected. Met Mia at a coffee shop. She took the bus, arrived 20 minutes late and complained about it for the first 5 minutes. I bought my own coffee. She glared at me and got a water. Free water. Her. "This is insane, Derek. You're punishing me for being honest." Me. "I'm not punishing anyone. You said my place was embarrassing. I accepted that and adjusted our arrangement accordingly." "What arrangement? You're my boyfriend. You're supposed to take care of me." "Take care of you? You're 25, not 5. You have a job. A part-time job. You know I'm trying to focus on my influencer career." Side note, she has 1,800 Instagram followers, and her last sponsored post was for some teeth whitening kit that paid her $50. Right. Well, if we're being honest, since that's what started this, I can't afford to subsidize your influencer career while you insult my living situation. Then she hit me with this gem. Her. Garrett never made me pay for anything. Garrett is her ex. The one she told me was toxic and controlling. Apparently, Garrett also had a 2-bedroom condo in the trendy part of town. Then maybe you should date Garrett. Maybe I should. At least he knew how to treat a woman. Okay, we're done here. Started to leave, and then she went full meltdown mode. Started crying, loud enough that other people were staring. Her, you can't just leave. We're having a conversation. Me, no, you're having a tantrum. I'm going home, to my embarrassing apartment. Left her there. She blew up my phone. 63 texts over the course of 4 hours. Everything from calling me cheap to saying I'm abusive to begging me to reconsider to threatening to expose me on social media. I didn't respond to any of it, but here's where it gets wild. This morning, I wake up to a notification that I've been tagged in an Instagram post. She actually did it. Posted a whole rant about me with my picture and everything. Let me paraphrase the highlights. Ladies, this is why you should never date broke men who pretend to have money. Love bombed me for months, then turned financially abusive when I gave him constructive criticism about his living situation. He forced me to take public transportation in the rain and refused to pay for my dinner in front of my friends. Classic narcissist behavior. Know your worth, queens. The comments were mixed. Some of her friends were supportive, but one hero commented, "Girl, didn't you say last month he took you to that $200 dinner for your birthday?" She deleted that comment real quick. Then my phone started ringing. Unknown number. It was her mom. Mom, hello, is this Derek? Me, yes. Mom, I'm calling about your treatment of my daughter. Okay? She tells me you've cut her off financially and are making her take the bus like some kind of person who takes the bus. She's an adult with a job. I'm not obligated to pay for her transportation. When a man dates my daughter, he should be prepared to provide for her. That's what a real man does. Ma'am, your daughter called my home embarrassing and refused to bring her friends there. Why would I continue paying for someone who's ashamed of me? She was trying to help you improve. By insulting me? You're clearly not mature enough for an adult relationship. You're right, I'm not mature enough for whatever this is. Have a nice day. Hung up. Blocked Mia on everything. Blocked her mom's number. Then, about 2 hours ago, her roommate Natalie, who I've met a few times and seemed cool, messaged me on Facebook. Hey Derek, I'm really sorry to bother you, but did you and Mia break up? She's been screaming at us to lend her Uber money to go to your place and make you see sense, and we're all kind of freaked out. Also, she hasn't paid her portion of utilities in 2 months and keeps saying you were supposed to help her with that. I responded, we're broken up. I never agreed to pay her utilities. If she shows up at my place, I'm calling the cops. You might want to find a new roommate. Natalie, already looking. Sorry this happened. For what it's worth, your apartment seemed totally normal when I saw it. So yeah, that's where we're at. My embarrassing apartment is now my peaceful sanctuary again. No more $40 Uber rides for someone who was ashamed to be seen here. No more $60 dinners for someone who thought I was beneath her. The entitlement is genuinely mind-blowing. Like she really thought she could insult my home, and I'd just keep paying for everything? Make it make sense. Update 2, 3 days later. Thought I was done with this saga. I was wrong. So wrong. Remember how I blocked Mia everywhere? Well, she found a workaround. She showed up at my workplace yesterday, in the lobby, during my lunch break. Security called up to my desk. Mr. Derek? There's a Mia here saying she's your girlfriend and needs to talk to you urgently. I came down thinking maybe something serious had happened. Nope. She was there in full makeup, dressed like she was going to a cocktail party at noon on a Wednesday, holding a Starbucks she definitely couldn't afford. Her, we need to talk. We really don't, please leave. Derek, stop being dramatic. I forgive you for overreacting. You forgive me? Yes. I realize I was a bit harsh about your apartment. It's not that embarrassing. Kind of charming in a vintage way. Anyway, I'm willing to compromise. You can keep living there for now, but we need to set a timeline for when you'll upgrade. The security guard was trying not to laugh. I could see it. Mia, we're broken up. There's no compromise. Please leave before I have to ask security to escort you out. You can't be serious? Over one little comment? One little comment, plus months of taking advantage of me financially while contributing nothing. I contributed. I helped you pick out those throw pillows. Me? You mean the ones you insisted I buy that cost $80? Her voice got shrill. Those elevated your whole living room. Security stepped forward. Ma'am, I'm gonna need you to leave. Then she pulled out her phone. I'm documenting this harassment. Started filming me, the security guard, the lobby. The guard immediately shut that down. Guard, ma'am, this is private property. You cannot film here. You need to leave now or I'm calling the police. She left, but not before announcing loudly, this isn't over. You'll regret this when I'm famous. Thought that was the end of it. Nope, that evening, around 8 p.m., I get a call from my landlord. My landlord. Landlord, hey Derek, weird question. Did you authorize someone named Mia to look at upgrading your apartment to a 2-bedroom? Me what? No, what are you talking about? She called our office claiming to be your fiancé, said you two were planning to move in together and wanted to know about larger units in the building. Even asked if we could hold one that's coming available next month. We dated for 8 months and broke up 3 days ago. She has no authority to do anything regarding my apartment. Figured something was off when she asked if you could sign the lease, but she could be listed as primary resident for her business purposes. I'll make a note in your file that she's not authorized for any changes. Me, please do. And maybe let your staff know not to give her any information. Already done. Sorry about this, man. But wait, there's more. This morning I woke up to texts from 3 different credit card companies about applications. Applications I didn't make. With my information, but her phone number and email as contact. Spent my entire morning on the phone getting those flagged as fraudulent and putting a freeze on my credit. Then Natalie, the roommate, texted me. Heads up, Mia's been telling everyone you two are back together and moving in together next month. She's already trying to sell her bedroom furniture and saying you're going to cover her rent until the lease ends. We told her that's insane, but she's convinced you're just playing hard to get. Also, she somehow got a credit card. She's been bragging about it. I immediately called the police non-emergency line to start a paper trail. The officer I spoke to said unless she actually successfully opens accounts or makes purchases, it's hard to press charges, but they documented everything in case it escalates. Then, because the universe has a sense of humor, my buddy Tom called. Tom, dude, why is your ex at the Mercedes dealership? What? I'm here getting my car serviced and she's at a sales desk filling out paperwork. Heard her say something about her boyfriend wanting to surprise her, but needing her to handle the documentation. Me, call the police. Now, I'm on my way. Rushed over there. By the time I arrived, the police were already there, and Mia was in full victim mode, crying about a misunderstanding and how I always talked about getting her a car. The salesperson looked relieved when I confirmed I'd never met him before and had no intention of buying anyone a car. They'd already run her credit, the new fraudulent card she'd somehow gotten approved for, and were about to process a lease when Tom intervened. Officer took her statement, which changed 3 times while I was standing there, and then informed her she was being charged with identity theft and attempted fraud. The meltdown was spectacular. This is entrapment. He set me up. He made me do this. Ma'am, no one forced you to fraudulently attempt to lease a vehicle. He psychologically manipulated me. I'm traumatized. I need my emotional support person. Officer, you can call them from the station. As they were putting her in the car, she screamed at me, "My mom is going to sue you." The car salesperson turned to me. In 20 years, that's the wildest thing I've seen, and I once had a guy try to trade in a stolen tractor. So now I'm home in my embarrassing apartment with a police report number, a fraud alert on my credit, a no-contact order being processed, and a newfound appreciation for being single. Natalie texted me an hour ago. Mia's mom just called us screaming about bail money. We all said no. She said we're all going to be sorry when Mia's Instagram career takes off and we're not part of her journey. I can't move out fast enough. I'm getting security cameras installed tomorrow. My lease isn't up for 8 months. but I'm actually thinking about moving just to make sure she doesn't know where I live anymore. The embarrassing apartment doesn't feel so safe anymore. Final update 2 weeks later. So the aftermath. Mia got charged with identity theft, attempted fraud, and harassment. Her mom bailed her out after 2 days, apparently had to borrow the money from multiple relatives who are all now very aware of why. My lawyer, yes, I had to get one, worked out a plea deal where she got probation, mandatory therapy, and has to pay restitution for the credit monitoring services I now need for the next 2 years. Plus, the no-contact order is permanent. But the entitlement didn't stop there. During the court proceedings, her lawyer actually argued that I had established a pattern of financial support and then abruptly withdrew it, causing emotional distress that led to desperate actions. The judge looked at him like he'd grown a second head. Counselor, are you seriously arguing that your client committed fraud because her ex-boyfriend stopped paying for her Uber rides? When taken in context of their relationship dynamics, the context of him paying for things while they were dating? That context. Even better, Mia's mom tried to approach me outside the courthouse. I hope you're happy. You've ruined her life over petty revenge. Me, she tried to steal my identity to buy a Mercedes. She was obviously cry for help. You drove her to this. My lawyer, ma'am, you need to step away from my client now. She loved you. She was trying to build a future with you. By calling my apartment embarrassing and demanding I upgrade it, she had standards you clearly couldn't meet. My lawyer, okay, we're done here. Plot twist though, remember Natalie, the roommate? She reached out last week with some tea. Turns out, Mia had been doing this for years. Natalie did some digging after everything went down and found Mia's old roommate from 2 years ago. That girl had similar stories. Mia dated a guy, convinced him to pay for everything, insulted his lifestyle when he wouldn't upgrade fast enough, and when he broke it off, she tried to get credit cards in his name. He never pressed charges because she convinced him it was a misunderstanding, and her mom paid him off to keep quiet. There were at least 2 other guys before that with similar stories. One guy she convinced to co-sign a car loan, then stopped making payments when they broke up, nearly destroying his credit. Another she tried to add herself to his lease without his knowledge. Natalie and the other victims are putting together documentation in case anyone else needs it for future reference. She said it's like a support group for Mia's ex-boyfriends. And honestly, that's both sad and hilarious. The best part? Mia's influencer career completely tanked. Someone, not me, I genuinely don't know who, sent screenshots of her arrest record to the few brands that occasionally worked with her. Her follower count dropped to about 400 after the mugshot started circulating. Her last post was a week ago, some motivational quote about rising from the ashes of betrayal, with comments turned off. Garrett, the ex she compared me to, he DM'd me on Instagram. Bro, I saw what happened. Same thing happened to me, but I was too embarrassed to press charges. Thank you for finally stopping her. BTW, my nice condo she talked about, it's a 1-bedroom that's probably smaller than your place. She's delusional. As for me, I did end up moving, but not because of fear. Found a better apartment, actually. Similar size but better location, and funny enough, only $50 more a month. All that money I'm not spending on someone else's Uber rides and dinners made it easily affordable. My new place has better water pressure, a dishwasher, and absolutely no one has called it embarrassing. My buddy Tom helped me move and said, dude, the peace of mind alone is worth the upgrade. He's right. I'm sitting here in my not embarrassing apartment, credit monitored but intact, legally protected from my ex, and honestly, best $50 a month I ever spent. Not on the apartment itself, but on the lesson that when someone shows you who they are, entitled, manipulative, and willing to insult you while taking your money, believe them the first time. Oh, and Natalie? We grabbed coffee last week to exchange documentation about Mia. She's cool, funny, and thinks my new apartment is totally normal and actually pretty nice. We're grabbing dinner on Friday. She's insisted on taking an Uber there herself and splitting the check. Maybe something good came out of this disaster after all. The ex who said my place was embarrassing while she couldn't even afford bus fare? She's now living with her mom, on probation, with destroyed credit and a criminal record. My embarrassing life, it's looking pretty damn good from where I'm sitting. Funny how that worked out.